isolation. Now, many countries across the world have put in place very stringent measures in order to curb the spread of the virus. And one such measure is to place a country on lockdown. But what does that mean for families in those respective countries? Helen Alexander is a South African who moved to Madrid in Spain in 2012. And she and her three daughters, Ruth, Alice and Sophie, have been in self-isolation since the lockdown, which is expected to last until April the 12th was implemented. Now, Helen and her daughters join us now via Skype. And Helen, good morning to you. So please introduce us to the family. Who's who?
Hi. I'm Ruth.
I'm Sophie.
I'm Alice.
So thanks so much for speaking to us this morning. And please, if you could start, Helen, perhaps by painting a picture for us of how this situation came to be, where you do now find yourself in self-isolation.
Well, we've been in self-isolation for about a week, and it happened quite quickly after Italy went into lockdown, because the cases here started to rise and the government acted quite quickly. So we've been in isolation for about a week.
And what's the extent of the pandemic as we speak right now in Spain overall, but also in Madrid where you are, Sophie?
Oh, well, I believe that, how many deaths are there?
Two.
It's the highest number of deaths in Spain. It's kind of the epicenter. It started in Canary Islands and it moved into Spain.
And Madrid and Barcelona, I think, are the hotspots, or Basque Country. So Madrid is the hotspot. They have the most cases in the country. And there's, a week ago, the hospitals were experiencing a death from COVID every 15 minutes.
And of course, that comes with certain implications. And is there much paranoia and hysteria amongst the people living in the country and, of course, in your city specifically?
No, definitely no hysteria. And to tell you the truth, the people are quite receptive. The streets are extremely quiet. When you go to the supermarket, you queue and you keep a meter between you and the other customers. They let people in one by one. As somebody leaves, you're allowed in. We can go to the chemist and we can walk out of.
So we understand one of the convention centers has also been turned into somewhat of a hospital facility where there are beds to take care of those who may be in need of such medical attention. Have you guys heard anything more about other services that have also been ramped up, or things that are now being done somewhat differently from before the outbreak?
I know they also turned two big hotels into kind of like centers for people that are not as serious. But
here, there's a shortage of tests, I believe, like there is everywhere else in the world, more or less. And so we are expected to stay in our homes until we get very sick. So they are only really taking the very sick people to hospital. The rest of us, will look after ourselves at home.
And what do you do while you're at home, and how often do you actually receive updates from the government about the situation?
Maybe after the majority of each quarantine period that we're being given has ended. So about yesterday, the Prime Minister announced that we're going to be given another 15 days of quarantine. And ours was supposed to end in a few days, basically. The first announcement said that it was supposed to end in a few days.
But they also give statements every day, so you get kind of updates on what's happening with like the unemployment situation and all of the measures they've put into place. And one of the things they're looking at is how they could have improved their response. And in terms of stuff we do at home, we all kind of do similar stuff to what we would do normally. It's just that you have contact with your friends online. instead of seeing them face to face. And
of course, some people have lost their jobs. My other daughter, who's not here, is a teacher, and she's lost her job. They retrenched all of them. We play games, we do puzzles, we walk our dog. We're allowed out to walk the dog, but individually, not in a group. We keep ourselves pretty busy.
So, as you say, your one daughter has lost her job. Are there other stimulus packages that have been announced by the government to try and help people through this very difficult time? And also, if you could just squeeze in a response to the faltering response that some said a country like Spain had to the outbreak of COVID-19.
Okay, I don't really agree with that. I think they were pretty quick after they saw what was happening in Italy, and our measures are draconian compared to other parts of Europe, and certainly what they're doing in the US. Everyone in the hotspot areas is locked down. If you go out into the streets, it's quiet. The people are being very responsive, and the police are strict now. They can arrest you. They can levy fines if you don't obey the regulations. So I think the response is quick. The problem with this virus is that you can spread it before you are symptomatic. So people can appear to be well and can be spreading the virus. So the notion that it's only coming in now, I don't think that's very likely. I think the reason why they had such an explosion in Italy is because they had it spreading, then they tested.
Yeah. So good to see you guys are still doing well. We unfortunately are going to have to leave it there, but no doubt we'll be in touch as SABC to find out how you're doing and how things are progressing in Spain. But thanks so much for speaking to us this morning. And that, of course, a family, Helen Alexander, South African, who moved to Madrid in 2012 with her daughters there with her this morning, Ruth, Alice and Sophie, and another daughter who was unable to join this conversation this morning. So